In the world of global energy, politicians often take center stage, standing before cameras and microphones at high-profile press conferences. They make bold promises of endless American LNG, liquefied natural gas, flowing to the world, assuring allies and markets that the U.S. can deliver energy security at the push of a button. These speeches paint a picture of boundless supply and instant delivery, as if American LNG can be conjured up on demand, ready to power distant cities overnight. But far from the polished halls of Washington, the reality is far more complicated. Here, logistics, not rhetoric, dictate what's possible. The journey from promise to delivery is filled with obstacles that can't be solved by speeches alone. At the massive Gulf Coast export terminals, the process is anything but simple. It's slow, intricate, and governed by the hard limits of engineering, the capacity of infrastructure, and the unpredictable forces of the global market. Tankers can only be loaded so fast, no matter how urgent the need. Ports have strict limits on how many ships they can handle at once, and every step, from liquefaction to loading, is vulnerable to delays from weather, maintenance, or market shifts. The journey from U.S. gas fields to Asian power plants is a logistical feat that spans continents and oceans. It's a process measured in weeks, not hours, a far cry from the instant solutions promised in political sound bites. The gap between political promises and operational reality is vast. It's in this space, between what's said and what's possible, that the true story of LNG unfolds, shaped by the tireless work of engineers, port workers, and market analysts. To truly understand the global energy market, we must look beyond the headlines and speeches. Only by seeing the real-world challenges and complexities can we grasp the forces shaping the future of LNG and the world's energy landscape. The LNG supply chain is a three-act play: extraction, liquefaction, and shipping. Each stage is a feat of engineering and logistics, working together to move natural gas from deep within the earth to markets across the globe. This journey is not just about moving a product, it's about overcoming immense technical and logistical challenges at every step. It all begins deep underground, where natural gas is trapped within layers of shale rock. In the U.S., advanced drilling techniques like hydraulic fracturing and horizontal drilling allow workers to extract this gas efficiently. Teams of skilled workers operate massive rigs, carefully managing the process to maximize output while minimizing environmental impact. Once extracted, the gas doesn't stay put. It travels hundreds, sometimes thousands of miles through a vast network of pipelines that crisscross the landscape, connecting remote fields to coastal liquefaction plants. These pipelines are the arteries of the LNG industry, ensuring a steady flow of gas to where it's needed most. At the liquefaction plant, the gas undergoes a dramatic transformation. It's first purified to remove impurities, then supercooled to an astonishing -260 degrees UF. This process turns the gas into a clear, odorless liquid, shrinking its volume by 600 times and making it practical to transport across oceans. These plants are true engineering marvels, filled with intricate machinery and advanced technology. But even with all this innovation, each facility has a hard production limit, determined by its design and the capacity of its equipment. The liquefied gas is then stored in enormous insulated tanks, waiting for the next leg of its journey. When it's time to ship, the LNG is carefully loaded onto specialized carriers, massive ships that act like giant thermoses, keeping the cargo at cryogenic temperatures for weeks as they cross the seas. At the port, timing is everything. Port capacity and ship availability are critical bottlenecks that can delay shipments and disrupt schedules. Coordinating these operations requires precision and constant communication between teams on land and at sea. The entire chain is only as strong as its weakest link. A disruption at any point, whether it's a broken pipeline, a technical issue at the plant, or congestion at the port, can bring the whole process to a standstill, affecting global supply and prices. So, every LNG molecule that finally arrives in Asia has survived a complex, carefully coordinated journey spanning continents and oceans. It's a testament to the expertise and dedication of thousands of people working behind the scenes. The reality of LNG is far more intricate than any political promise or headline can capture. Behind every shipment lies a story of innovation, risk, and relentless effort to keep the world's energy flowing. The global LNG fleet is limited. These ships are costly, specialized, and slow to build. When demand spikes, ship shortages drive up costs and delay deliveries. The Panama Canal, a key shortcut for US LNG to Asia, is a major choke point. Limited daily transits and drought-driven restrictions can snarl schedules for weeks. Delays ripple through the fleet, forcing tough choices. Wait in line or take a longer, costlier route. Asian ports have their own constraints. Only a few ships can unload at once. Bottlenecks at both ends of the journey add friction and cost. These are the real limits on LNG flows, not political declarations. In LNG, price signals, not politics, steer tankers. Regional benchmarks like TTF in Europe and JKM in Asia set the course. Cargoes chase the highest price, shifting direction mid-ocean if markets change. A cold snap in Europe or a heat wave in Asia can instantly redirect US LNG. This flexibility is a hallmark of the US export model, with many cargoes sold on the spot market. Political promises of steady supply often clash with the reality of profit-driven trading. The true destination of LNG is decided in trading rooms, not at summits. The invisible hand of the market is the real force behind LNG flows. Asian buyers demand certainty, not speeches. Utilities in Japan and South Korea rely on long-term contracts, often 15 to 20 years, to guarantee supply and price. These contracts are essential for financing multi-billion-dollar LNG projects. Political assurances mean little without signed sales and purchase agreements. Asian buyers scrutinize every contract, detailed delivery schedules, pricing, penalties. US spot cargoes offer flexibility, but Asia's core demand is for predictability. When politicians promise more US LNG, the real question is, who's signed the contracts? In Asia, it's contracts, not headlines, that keep the lights on. Asia's LNG buyers aren't all the same. Japan values reliability, building portfolios of long-term deals from diverse suppliers. South Korea mixes long-term contracts with spot purchases to optimize costs, but security remains central. China's strategy is hybrid, locking in massive long-term volumes while actively trading on the spot market. China's scale lets it influence global prices and secure future growth. India, by contrast, is highly price-sensitive. When spot prices rise, Indian imports drop. When prices fall, they buy opportunistically. India seeks affordable long-term deals, but is often priced out when supplies tighten. Each country's approach reflects its unique needs and market realities. The Asian LNG market is a mosaic, not a monolith. Most US natural gas is used right here at home, fueling the nation's insatiable appetite for energy. The majority of this gas powers our electric grids, lighting up cities and keeping businesses running day and night. Natural gas is also essential for heating millions of American homes during cold winters, and it's the backbone of countless industries, from food processing to chemicals and steel manufacturing. As old coal plants are retired and the US manufacturing sector experiences a resurgence, domestic demand for natural gas continues to climb. This shift is transforming the energy landscape, making gas more critical than ever for both households and industry. But there's a catch. America's booming LNG exports now compete directly with domestic consumers. When more gas is shipped overseas, it can drive up prices at home, impacting everything from monthly utility bills to the cost of goods produced in US factories. While high global prices are a windfall for exporters and energy companies, they translate into higher costs for American families and businesses, squeezing budgets and sometimes forcing tough choices. This puts policymakers in a difficult position. They must carefully weigh the benefits of exporting natural gas, such as economic growth and global influence, against the need to keep energy affordable and reliable for Americans at home. Despite vast reserves, the idea that America has limitless gas to export is a myth. Supplies are large, but not infinite, and increased exports can strain the system if production doesn't keep pace. Any surge in exports must be matched by ramped-up production, or else prices will rise for everyone, consumers, manufacturers, and power plants alike. This internal competition for natural gas complicates the narrative of America as the world's energy savior. Every exported shipment means less gas available for domestic needs, making the balancing act even more delicate. Ultimately, the home front always has a stake in these decisions. The choices made about exports and energy policy ripple through every American household and workplace. U.S. energy policy is a constant balancing act, juggling the desire for global influence with the need for domestic stability and affordable energy for all Americans. The LNG trade runs on steel, contracts, and market fundamentals, not political slogans. Engineers, traders, and lawyers shape the market, not speeches. Infrastructure, pipelines, ports, ships, sets the pace and scale of LNG flows. New export terminals matter more than diplomatic promises. Asian buyers know this, securing supply through long-term contracts, not rhetoric. Trade policy, tariffs, and sanctions add risk and cost, complicating flows. Domestic U.S. demand is a constant check on export ambitions. Real progress means planning based on capacity, not wishful thinking. The LNG market is a triumph of engineering and commerce, but it follows its own logic. Which matters more for U.S. energy security, more infrastructure, or more promises?